Hey viewers, welcome back to the channel. I have to first and foremost apologize. I promised to get a video to you showing the charcoal basket I built for the Retort, which was not my greatest work, but it does the job. So I wanted to show you how it worked on the Retort. So that's what we're going to do today. Thanks for coming back, and let's check it out. You have to pack it in there like sardines, but don't have any wood coming past your rim here, so it won't seal up properly. And put my top on, and my top is warped from the heat, so I'm gonna have to figure out some kind of way to reinforce that so it won't warp. But it is time to put it on top of the Retort. And get this baby rolling. Now you remember the little basket I made? Well, there it is. Put it inside. This is my little air intake side. If you can hear it, it's already beginning to give the rocket effect. And the way I get this lit is I just get some pellets, douse them with lighter fluid, throw them down in there just to get things going. And then once it's going, I'll fill the hopper up. This is my little makeshift hopper. I'll sit that up here, fill it all the way up to can't see that. So I'll fill it all the way up to the top of here. And that should give me about an hour or two burn. Well, probably not an hour, about maybe an hour, hour and a half. So I'm gonna go ahead and start filling the hopper up now. This is my test run of my rocket stove Retort with pellet basket. I'll see how long that burns. I'll see how long it burns with this filled up. So I filled the pellet hopper up before the pellets started burning really good. So I had to put a fire underneath it to try and start to get the pellets really going. And I can see that over here on this side, the pellets are burning. I need the full basket to start burning. But I need the full basket to start burning. You can see it a little bit over here, this corner burning. The pipe flume is up at about 250, but the actual oven, the retort, it's not even 100 degrees yet, so it's nowhere near going. Alright, so you can see down there the pellet basket is almost about 85% lit, so I'm going to call that a go. The pellets have already started advancing and dropping down. I'll see if you can catch that happening while it's burning here. So the basket is working. The pipe is almost at 300 degrees. The oven is creeping up on 100. So that oven needs to be over 500 degrees. Actually between 6 and 7 to really get a good charcoal burn at the time that I'm trying to reach within 3 hours. Which I'm afraid to say that this might not get it. But I'm hopeful, so I'm not going to say that. I'm going to try and see how this works out. But you can see the pellets advancing. So the basket is working in the way it should. As the pellets burn down there, everything just kind of drops through, hits the little secondary grate that I have at the bottom, drops down in a hole that I dug underneath the retort of the burn box, and then more pellets just keep dropping and advancing, dropping and advancing. So it just feeds itself, because I got to go inside and either cook some crab legs or grill some chicken for the kiddos and the wife. But yeah, we can see a nice red glow down there by the pellet basket. So it is just fully ignited. So we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna set the timer to see how long this basket of pellets lasts before I have to fill it up again. Alright, good people. It is dark out here, but about 2.5 hours into the burn, we got off-gassing. It's off-gassing something wonderful. The hopper is about empty, so I'm going to fill it back up again with pellets. But it's roaring and off-gassing something fierce. It's been going about 2.5 hours. Trusty pellet basket. Worked really well. Doesn't look as good as one of my viewers said. Wasn't my best work. But what matters is the space in between these bars. It is good to make sure everything's even, but it worked out great. moment of truth. Make sure you can see this. Not 100%. So I got some smaller pieces that completely converted over. The larger pieces did not. Like that. This one did. Well, not 100%. I can still see some wood in there. That one did not. So I'm going to put this back on and burn it for another hour. And that should do it. Alright viewers, listen. I want to go into the Man Cave Lab and show you just a little bit of science behind retorts and how and why I decided to do my retort the way I decided to do it. And so without further ado, let's get into the cave and check that out. All right, YouTube viewers. Here we are in my little studio where I use to design all of my builds and everything that I work on. So let's get to the screen. So currently here's the retort that I use. It is a J-tube type rocket stove, as you can see. And I'm using SketchUp. And what I have here is just a model of my retort. You have my feed tube, my pellet basket, my burn chamber, my heat riser, and the actual retort where the wood goes and turns into charcoal. What we have here is the actual portion of the rocket stove that is that I sit on top of. One second, let me group all that together. So move it all at once. So here is, so basically this is the rocket stove for the retort. Move this out. So I just have, this is the rocket stove for the retort. This part is all welded together. And so our air intake, our pellet basket. Here is the pellet basket. So you know, right now it's not generating enough heat for me in order to get that that 3.5 hour burn. So what I want to do, and with your help and suggestions, I want to modify this for, this will be my third probably my fourth update modification to this in order to achieve this 3.5 hour burn. So what I think is happening is the pellet basket is a little bit too small to generate the amount of heat that I want. So the options I have are, I can make this pellet basket 25% larger, which will basically, it'll be 75% of this area here, which will leave 25% for air intake, which I think is fine, because in order to achieve that rocket stove effect, you need your exhaust to be around at least you need your intake to be 20 to 25% smaller than your exhaust. So that'll cause air to rush in there trying to fill the amount of air that's being sucked out, you know, in heating and ventilation. Heat rises, and of course you want the amount of air that's going out to match the amount of air that's coming in. But in order to generate that rocket stove effect, the amount of air that's coming in has to be 20 to 25% less than the amount of air that's going out in order to cause that rush. And also what it will do is it'll create a rush of air that goes by your heat source, your fuel. And the more oxygen that's feeding and rushing through here, the hotter this is going to get. Okay? And so those are the dynamics about that. So so increasing this will give me two things. It'll give me more fuel, which will give me more heat. And so that's option one. Another option is to introduce a secondary air intake, because what happens here inside the retort, if you've ever built a rocket stove, you know that inside your rocket stove, when your burn chamber is burning, when it's all lit and ignited and the fire is going sideways here, right here at the end where it hits this wall and turns up, you start generating smoke here, and you generate smoke about 25% up this pipe, and that'll be the amount of smoke that comes out of here. The hotter this thing gets, the more that smoke will be burnt, and that fuel will be burnt, and you'll get a zero smoke situation, which is what you want. If you got zero smoke, that means you got a temperature that's adequate for burning off all the fuel that's in your rocket stove. So introducing secondary air down here will cause a secondary combustion that will burn all that smoke, and in burning all that smoke, it'll be generating more heat right down here in this area, the lower portion of the retort. Because the retort, for some odd reason, I guess because of heating dynamics, it gets hotter. It gets hot up high first, and the heat just comes down. And so I want to introduce, my second option is to introduce some secondary air here, and cause it to get a little harder, burn off all that gas, burn off all those gases, generate some more heat, and perhaps reach my goal of 3.5 hours. Third option is to make this pellet basket completely fill up the space. It's about 4.5 inches. This is a 5-inch tube, so 1/4 inch thick. So 4.5 inches on the inside. So make a 4 by 4.5 by 4.5 pellet basket. And the 4.5 by 4.5 pellet basket will generate a lot of heat, but it also is going to burn a lot of fuel a lot faster. And so to do that, I would definitely need to open a air intake over here to allow the air to rush this way and up the heat riser.
I really don't want to do that because I kind of like having the pellet basket and the option of being able to drop some sticks down in here if I need to. But dropping the sticks in there defeats the purpose of making it unattended, because I get a nice size pellet hopper. I can fill this thing up with pellets and go about my business, let it burn out, come back the next morning or come back when it's cooled down, and I'll have my charcoal, which is that's pretty much the goal that I want to achieve. I want unattended 3.5 hour charcoal burn. And so what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to first introduce the secondary air, give that a shot, and then if that doesn't get hot enough and meet the time limit, then I'm going to increase the pellet basket by 25%. And so the pellet basket will be, it'll take up 75% of this area in here. And then hopefully that will give me the results that I'm looking for. Now, this is my little rendition of my rocket stove or my charcoal retort. A typical retort is, I have a little drawing here over on the right. Here's your typical retort. And this is what a lot of people have been building. And this would be your 55-gallon drum with a 30-gallon drum inside it. And inside that 30-gallon drum, usually they'll have holes around the bottom, or holes underneath, or a tube inside. And that tube comes out the bottom. This is for the air, the gases, the wood gases to escape. And when the wood gases come out of here, they ignite and you get a combustion down here at the bottom. And as the wood is burning, as the gases are burning off, it's also helping generate the heat to turn this into charcoal. This is too large for my community. I live in an HOA. My neighbors would flip out because you know how these homeowners associations are. And so, these homeowners associations, they go a little bit nuts sometimes. I should know. I used to be on it, and I was the president for 1 year. But those people, that situation was crazy. Not something I'd like to do again. But so yeah, I need something a little bit smaller, more economical, and more efficient. So that's the reason I designed and built my little retort here. So this is my efficient charcoal retort, and I'm trying to make it more efficient. So if you have any ideas, any suggestions, put them in the comment section. Help me out. We'll build this thing together. And once I implement the comments or suggestions and get this thing updated, I'm going to make another video. And hopefully I can get that 3.5 hour burn. All right. Let's get back to the video.
The charcoal did not get a full pyrolysis burn or a conversion over to, the wood did not get a full conversion over to charcoal. I did reach some very high temperatures, but it was late in the burn. One thing that I did do wrong is I didn't let my basket get fully engulfed in flames before I filled it up with pellets. So this time I made sure, and I don't know if you can hear it, it's already giving the rocket sound. Let's see if you can hear that. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to point you into the sun. So you should be able to hear that. Already I'm getting the rocket sound. So what I did differently was when I put some pellets in the basket this time, I only filled it up to the top of the pellet basket. Well, I filled it halfway with pellets that were pellets that were saturated in lighter fluid, for charcoal lighter fluid, and I lit those, and I got those to start burning completely. Then I put the other half on top of those, again saturated with lighter fluid, lit those, and got the basket, a full basket of pellets, completely engulfed in flames. The last time I filled the pellet hopper up before I did that, and I didn't get a full combustion started before I filled the hopper up. It eventually got started, but I think that delayed the effect of heating up the retort. So this time I got a full engulfed pellet basket, fully engulfed with flames, and it made a world of difference. As you can hear. And I got a fully engulfed pellet basket down there, and the temperature on the tube is coming up on 250. The retort is already coming up on 150. Another thing, I'm not going to start my timer until the basket gets up to 300. Then I'll start the time. Maybe around 250 I'll start the time. So I'm going to burn it for another hour, and that should complete the conversion of the wood over into charcoal. But as you can see, I get a completely clean burn. Sorry again for the shining. As you can see, I get a completely clean burn, no smoke whatsoever. Let me get my back to the sun because that's proper photography. So as you can see, well, there's a little smoke coming off of there. You can see a little smoke coming off of it. But normally, y'all get a completely clean burn, but there's my retort. So what I'm trying to achieve here, as I've stated before, is I want to make charcoal in about an hour and a half. Hour and a half, about 3.5 hours. So that unfortunately was a fail yesterday and this morning. So 4.5 hours is still good. I believe this retort can do it in 3.5 hours. I just got to get the heat up above 500 as quickly as I possibly can. I was hoping the pellet burner would do that, but it did not. So I'm going to try a combination of the pellets, and I'm going to drop a couple of sticks down in there to see if I can get a high temperature pretty quickly. So let me check that. Let me let you check that out. Alrighty, I got my temperatures both. It's the retort combustion chamber is almost up to 300. Chimney's up to 300. I got a few sticks in the burner, the burn box, along with the pellets that are dropping down. So if you see in there, you can see a little fire. All the sticks are already caught on fire. So I know this is not the method I wanted to use, but I'm trying to achieve the time right now. So I need to get the temperature up. So I'll keep you posted. Okay, so an update. I got 450 on the combustion chamber, the retort, and I got a little over 450 on the heat riser. So what that tells me is these two are about equal. So I got a true 450 degree temperature inside that oven. should be a little bit harder, but I'm only feeding a little bit of wood at a time. So tell you what, you viewers, if you got some tips on how I can get this thing hotter and stay within the, oh, it done went up to 500 on the heat riser, and still about 450 on the oven, but I need a good 500 consistent, between 550, 600 consistent in the oven. So if you got some tips on how I can achieve that, I was thinking about insulating the burn chamber, or the combustion chamber, the retort. But if you got some ideas, put them in the comments and let me know. Let's build this thing together. I want to achieve a charcoal conversion from wood to charcoal, 3.5 hours. That's my goal. So I already have a retort that can do it in like 2 hours, but it's small and it only does about maybe 3-4 pounds of charcoal, which is not bad, but I want to burn a little bit more and keep it efficient, convenient, and small. So if you have some ideas, let me know. Put them in the comments. Let's build this thing together. All right. All right, you viewers, let's see what we got. Alrighty, looks like we did good. Got to stand up. So, looks like we, after that second burn, finished everything off. So we got some nice charcoal. Looks like it took about 4.5 hours, and the goal is 3.5. So it's not bad. I'm not terribly complaining about that, but I do want to try and achieve that that 3.5 hour mark. So let me dump it out so you can take a look at it. All right, here we go. All right, viewers, that is it. I did get some good charcoal. I didn't get the time that I wanted, but I got 4.5 hours, so that's better than nothing. I'm still gonna be working on that 3.5 hours, so check it out. Thanks for stopping by, finishing out this video with me. And remember, it's 2024 now, so we still want to make this world a better place to live. And you know me, I always say, treat people the way you want them to treat you and not the way they treat you. All right? See you next time.